Hi guys, Charlie's back. I wanted to show everyone how I do guides. Uh, Actually, I was right. These are very low hour heads. The guides literally show no wear whatsoever. They're all exactly the same size, but it was designed for a boat engine, so the clearance is higher than I would keep for a street engine. So I decided to put bronze wall guides in. I use K-Line guides. K-Line doesn't pay me. They make a good product though. In order to size the guides, I use my Sun and Honol. If you've never seen it, it's actually an old design, but it works really well. And it's kind of interesting how it's set up. If Sophia can get a close-up of this, it actually, the stone actually can move out, and it's perfectly perpendicular when it does that. So you put it in the guide and you can take off a tiny amount, literally honing it like a cylinder, okay? And you're going to say, why do we need that? You could just broach them and they'll be good. Well, I think my question to everybody is, what is the closest tolerance inside an internal combustion engine? It should be the valve guide to valve interference, okay? What happens if you don't have your guide sized properly? Well, every time the valve hits the seat, it's going to be a little bit off center, okay? So it's going to move a little tiny bit. Think about that. You're doing it 60 times a second. That little bit of movement is going to wear your seats out, okay? Anytime I've ever done this on any cylinder head, did not need hardened guides. They never wore out. K-Line guides, done right, will not wear out. I actually had that conversation with David Vizard. He's like, you like K-Lines? Me too. Have you ever worn a set out? Nope, me neither. That was exactly the quote. The other David Vizard quote I want to share with you guys is when we were doing the dyno competition. We had to change valves from one head to the other, and we popped him in and he gave him a quick lap. He pops it in and literally he lapped one. And he went to me and he goes, "Charlie, what did you do with those guides? That valve lapped in instantly." And I told him, I said, they're honed to fit. And in order to get that right, you have to use the Honol. I shouldn't say that. There are new modern ways to do it that probably not as labor intensive. There are diamond brooches and all kinds of things. I don't have that. This is what I have. This is actually old style equipment, but only a handful of guys I even know use this. I think Larry Moe in Louisiana, probably my #1 favorite cylinder head guy. Absolutely fantastic. Look him up. I know he uses a Honol. In order to measure exactly where you have to be, I use my P300 Sunnen. Sunnen doesn't send me any money either, but I like their stuff. Okay, when you set this gauge up, you're going to use two of the valves that you're actually going to use in the cylinder head. You have to tighten it the proper specified amount and then back off a quarter turn. And then you set it to 0. Right.
Okay.
Okay, insert it gently into the guide. I actually jiggle it a little bit back and forth. Okay. So that's my measurement right there, a little more than 1.5 thousandths. Okay, you may say, Charlie, that's too tight. You can't run 1.5 thousandths clearance on an intake. Well, I did an experiment a very long time ago on the 355 that's in my old work truck that I built in the early 90s. I originally built it for my dad, and I was having oiling issues. And I had a very worn out broach that I was using, which was very tight. And I did a set of K-Line guides, and literally I made it so the valves just slid in. So the clearance was practically 0. And that engine has never been apart. And it's It's seen some rough times. It's seen some extended high-speed cruises where if it was going to overheat and seize in the guide, it would have done it. So, and it's funny because in one of DV's seminars that I've been to, he will actually say that you can run them with practically zero clearance. And you're like, well, how can you do that? Because the bronze will not bite into the valve and seize. This is how I do it. Hope you got some info. Thanks for watching.